Hello, everyone. Today, I have a story for you. A story from a dusty little town about a boy who learned the terrifying yet beautiful power of true focus. By the end of this video, you won't just understand focus, you will feel how it can completely rewrite your destiny. Our story begins in a village that was quiet on the surface, but loud with expectations. In this village lived a young boy named Arjun. Arjun wasn't just smart, he was brilliant. He had a fire in his eyes that everyone could see. But life was brutal to him. Arjun lived with a widowed mother. They had nothing but a small piece of land and a lot of debt. Every single morning, long before the sun even thought about rising, Arjun was already up. He would walk miles to the fields, dragging heavy plows, his hands covered in mud, sweat dripping from his chin. He worked like a machine. Only after his body was broken from labor would he go home, wash the dirt off, and sit down to study. He didn't have hours to study like the rich kids. He had minutes. Yet the whole village had placed a heavy bet on him. They would say, "Just watch, Arjun will top the board exams. He is our genius." Arjun felt that pressure. He carried it like a heavy stone on his chest. Finally, the exams came. Arjun fought sleep, hunger, and exhaustion. He gave it everything he had. But when the results were pasted on the school wall, silence fell. Arjun had failed. Not all subjects, just one. But that one failure was enough to shatter his world. It felt like the ground had opened up to swallow him. But the failure wasn't the thing that hurt the most. It was the people. The same neighbors who praised him yesterday turned into vultures today. Every morning, as Arjun walked to the fields to work, the whispers would start. They weren't hiding it anymore. They laughed. "Look," they would sneer, "there goes the genius, couldn't even pass a simple test, all that hard work for nothing." Their words were like broken glass. They cut him deep. Arjun didn't say a word back, but inside his spirit was bleeding. He was drowning in their noise. One evening, unable to take the torture anymore, Arjun went to the edge of the village to meet Master Kabir. Kabir was an old, mysterious man who spoke very little but saw everything. Arjun stood before him, his voice trembling. "Master," he said, tears fighting to come out, "I can't walk to the fields anymore. They mock me. They laugh at my failure. Their voices, they are too loud. I cannot handle it." The old master looked at him with sharp, piercing eyes. He didn't offer pity. Instead, he nodded slowly and said, "Arjun, tomorrow morning, meet me here. I have a task for you." "What task?" Arjun asked. "Bring a large clay pot, fill it with milk right to the brim, and I want you to walk that same path through the village. But here is the condition: if even a single drop spills, don't bother coming back." Arjun was shocked. Why? Why would the master ask for something so strange at a time like this? But he was desperate for an answer, so he agreed. The next morning arrived. The sun began to peek gently over the horizon. The birds started their morning songs. The village began to wake up. Arjun filled the heavy clay pot with fresh milk right up to the very brim. The surface of the milk was dangerously high. It was heavy and it was still. He gripped the pot with both hands, his knuckles turning white from the tension. He took his first step outside. The pot trembled. One small mistake, one wrong breath, and the milk would spill. As he walked onto the main path,
The villagers were already waiting. It was like a gauntlet of judgment. They lined the sides of the road, ready to tear him apart. Some whispered, some pointed fingers, and others laughed loudly, expecting him to drop it. They wanted a show. But that day, something strange happened. Arjun didn't hear them. His eyes were locked onto the surface of the milk. His hands became steady as steel. His breath slowed down to a rhythmic flow. He didn't see the mocking faces. He only saw the milk. He didn't hear the insults. He only heard the thumping of his own heart. He entered a state of absolute, terrifying focus. The world around him dissolved into a blur. The voices faded out like a dying radio signal. Even the loudest laughter sounded like a distant echo from miles away. The only reality in the entire universe was that pot in his hands. He reached the fields. He set the pot down. Not a single drop had kissed the ground. He walked back to Master Kabir, his eyes wide with realization. "Master, I didn't hear them. I was so focused on the pot that the insults didn't even reach my ears." The old master smiled gently. He said, "That is exactly the lesson, Arjun. When you focus deeply on your work, on your goals, on your purpose, people's words lose their power. Their noise becomes meaningless." In that moment, Arjun felt a shift inside his soul, a new calmness, a dangerous new strength. From that day on, Arjun stopped caring. He studied with a ferocity he had never known before. He worked in the fields with a deep, quiet peace. He walked with his head high, not because of arrogance, but because he understood the secret. Focus makes the noise disappear. He went back to his books. He prepared for the exams again. He worked in silence. The village didn't change. They still talked. But Arjun had changed, and that made all the difference. One early morning, standing in the golden light of the sunrise, Arjun smiled. He finally understood. When you focus on your goal, all the negativity becomes blurred, just like a camera focuses on the subject and blurs the background. That is the true power of focus. So if you are listening to this and you feel hurt by people's words, if you feel doubt, sadness, or pressure, remember Arjun's story. Take a deep breath. Hold your milk pot, your goal, your dream with steady hands. Stay focused, stay strong, and let everything else fade into the background.